Soy curls made from whole, non-GMO soybeans. Yes, that's it. No preservatives, no added anything, just soybeans. They cook them up and they extrude them through a machine, and they come out with this texture, and they are fantastic. They are made by Butler Foods, which is a small family-owned company in Oregon. They're Seventh-day Adventists, and that's interesting because Seventh-day Adventists are known for their long living. They live 7 to 10 years longer than the average person in America. So I feel like the Butler people know exactly how to make a healthy meat substitute. Soy curls have 10 grams of protein in just a half a cup. They've got 6 grams of fiber. They have iron and potassium, and they don't have any cholesterol. So they are a fantastic meat substitute. A lot of people ask me, what's the difference between soy curls and TVP? And that's a really good question. Soy curls are made from a whole soybean, while TVP is made from non-fatted soy flour, which means it doesn't have the whole soybean and it doesn't have the same texture. So I love the soy curls more. If you have more questions about soy curls, I'll do a Q&A at the end of this video and answer all the questions that you might have about soy curls. But let's talk about how we can cook them. They can be cooked in a variety of different ways, but you're always going to start with rehydrating them. So let's get started by taking our dry soy curls and pouring hot water over the top and letting them soak for about 10 minutes. Now, some people will use a broth over their soy curls. I find that completely unnecessary because in the next step, I drain all that water off. I even squeeze it out of the soy curls so you're not getting the flavor from the broth by soaking them in it. Also, people will tend to boil their hot water and pour it over the soy curls, and that's not really necessary either. I just use hot water straight from the tap, and that's how I rehydrate my soy curls. Once they're soft, you want to squeeze out all of the excess liquid. Now, this is a step a lot of people skip, but it does make a huge difference. We want to squeeze out as much water as possible so that when we pour our other flavors in, they will soak up those flavors and be more flavorful and more juicy. Now that our soy curls are rehydrated, I am going to show you how I typically use them almost every time. I'm going to put them in a saute pan. There is one exception to how I rehydrate these soy curls. That's when I put them into a soup. So I'll show you that in just a minute when I show you how to make a fantastic chicken noodle soup. But first, let's get started on sauteing our soy curls. If you're just getting started with plant-based diet, then check out the link in my description box below for the ultimate guide to going plant-based. It has everything you need to get you started on a plant-based diet, from the mistakes that people often make to 12 great recipes that'll get you started. Okay, the soy curls are browning, and this is where the magic happens. We can turn these soy curls into any flavor that we want. I have a bacon recipe, and I poured this marinade on, and it makes a beautiful bacon for my BLT pasta salad and also for my BLT wrap. I also can pour over the top a taco seasoning, and that's going to make a delicious fajita or a taco. And then I can use a Asian stir-fry sauce and turn it into a stir-fry flavored. So one of the best things that you can do is to use one of your homemade salad dressings, like an Italian dressing, and add some fresh basil and parsley and dill, and you can turn that into a delicious Italian-style soy curl that can go into a chicken Alfredo. The possibilities are endless. I'll put a link in the description box below to some of my favorite soy curl recipes. You can add some chicken style seasoning, which is what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to turn these into a chicken salad. Some Better Than Bouillon chicken flavored seasoning, and I am going to just mix a good helping of that into here. It's super salty, so you don't need to add any more salt to this particular recipe. If you wanted to use a beef style seasoning, you could do that. And there's a Better Than Bouillon no beef, and that will work really well. Or a Better Than Bouillon vegetable if you just wanted a neutral flavor. But because I'm making chicken salad out of these soy curls, I don't need a whole bunch of flavor to go into the soy curls because we're going to be adding flavors to the chicken salad. So let's go ahead and pour this over the top of our soy curls. And you're just going to cook that down until all those flavors get soaked into those soy curls. Now, I know some of you smart ones are going to be asking, so why did you go to the trouble of soaking the soy curls in no flavor, draining all the water out, and then adding more liquid to them to make them soggy again? Well, the thing is, this does not make them soggy. That process gives them a delicious texture and gives them a lot more flavor. I'm not exactly sure why it works that way, but I know that it works, and it's the best way to make your soy curls. When my soy curls were all nicely browned, I put them into the food processor to chop them up. I like this texture for my chicken salad, but if you don't, you can leave the bigger chunks of soy curls for your chicken salad. Then I added in some diced onion and then some diced celery. And this is sweet pickle relish. You could use dill pickle relish if you liked. And then I added in some dill. And again, you could use fresh here if you like. I'm going to add in mayonnaise. I don't know if I'm going to need all of that mayonnaise. We'll find out. This is Hellmann's vegan mayonnaise. And you can find that at your regular grocery store. That's why I like to use it. And then I'm going to add in just a smidge of the Dijon mustard. Stir that up. And that is a fantastic chicken salad. When you get your soy curls, you're going to notice that they come in a little bit different sizes. You're going to have the super small sizes that we're going to use in this soup, but there's also some medium size, which you might want to use for a sandwich, and then the bigger size. Those are great for lots of things where you want to do like a chicken finger. You could bread them and put them in the air fryer. To rehydrate the soy curls for soup, I do something completely different. I give them a super flavorful broth to hydrate them in because the soup is going to soak out some of that flavor. So I start with some no chicken broth. I am using the Better Than Bouillon no chicken broth today. I'm also going to add in some onion powder. Actually, I use granulated onion and granulated garlic. It dissolves better than the powder does. It doesn't clump up. And then I'm going to add a bit of salt. And that is the base for our marinade. And I'm going to pick out some of the smaller pieces of soy curls for this because in chicken noodle soup you want small pieces of chicken. You don't want big pieces. So I'm going to take out some of those and I'm going to rehydrate it. All of this is going to go right into the broth of the soup, so I won't lose any of the flavor or I'm not going to drain these off. To make the chicken noodle soup, we're going to start by adding our onions and our celery and our carrots to the pan. This is your typical start to any great chicken noodle soup, or really any soup. We just want to get those cooked down until they're soft. Instead of using oil, I like to sweat down my vegetables. That's just simply adding in a tablespoon of water to the hot pan that kind of steams up the vegetables and cooks them really quickly. I'm adding in some minced garlic. And now that my vegetables are soft, I'm going to go ahead and pour in about 4 cups of water. And then about a tablespoon or so of this Better Than Bouillon no chicken broth. And that's going to be the most of our flavor. And once that comes to a boil, we will add in our noodles. I'm going to add a smidge of parsley. If you have fresh herbs, they would be great here, but you'll add those toward the end because you want the fresh herbs to give all that flavor. I like to use these wide egg-free noodles for my chicken noodle soup, but you could also use a fettuccine and break it up into small pieces. Now we just need to bring this to a boil and cook our noodles for about 10 minutes or so. Our noodles are done. I'm going to go ahead and add in our chicken. I don't think I need as much as I did. And that's it. Our chicken noodle soup is done, and it looks so good. We are going to be eating good today. My microphone died at the very end of this video, so you did not get your Q&A. If you have questions, definitely put them in the comments below, and I will answer them. I will answer questions like, where do I buy soy curls and how do I store soy curls? So if you are looking to go plant-based or just want to learn more about eating vegetarian, then subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.